99% of the ocean floor remains unexplored, and what has been found has left scientists stunned. Why are there completely restricted zones? What's being hidden in the darkest depths of our planet? Today, you're diving with me into the most isolated place on Earth, where light doesn't reach, time seems to stop, and the answers might be more disturbing than any science fiction. Get ready to uncover Earth's final secret. Welcome to the abyss. Sometimes the world feels kind of done. We've set foot on remote islands, scaled the icy extremes of the Arctic, and hacked our way through the thickest jungles. It feels like there's nothing left to explore. But that's not true. There's still one place on Earth that remains almost entirely untouched, a massive alien world beneath the waves. It's cold, dark, crushing, and deadly, a vast watery desert teeming with strange otherworldly creatures that thrive in complete darkness. Welcome to the deep sea. And today, we're going in. When you look at the size of Earth's oceans, it's mind-blowing to think that less than 2% of all life on the planet actually lives there. And of that tiny sliver, nearly 90% sticks close to the surface, within the first 200 meters of water. That's where our journey begins. Up here, sunlight still reaches through the waves, making life possible through photosynthesis. At this level, trillions of microscopic organisms called phytoplankton, tiny algae and bacteria, float in the water. They're the base of the ocean's entire food chain. Small creatures eat them, bigger creatures eat those, and so it goes. The seafloor at this depth can be as vibrant and alive as a rainforest, covered in coral reefs, seaweed, and plant life that form complex habitats for countless marine species. Up to now, most of our attention has stayed in this relatively calm and comfortable layer of the ocean, where we fish, swim, dump waste, and do science. But that's just the surface. Let's go deeper. As we leave behind the familiar waters near the coast, we hit the edge of the continental shelf. And then, things begin to change. We face the continental slope, a steep, plunging descent into the true deep sea. With every meter we descend, the light disappears faster than you'd expect, fading into darkness until there's barely a glow left. Down here, there are virtually no plants anymore. The steep walls of the continental slope begin to look less like part of Earth and more like the barren, cratered surface of the moon. Ahead of us lies a vast open nothingness, an eerie, endless expanse of black water. This is where we say goodbye to the slope and enter what scientists call the twilight zone. Think of it as the gateway to the deep sea. As we sink deeper, the pressure around us builds rapidly and dangerously. For comparison, the deepest scuba dive ever recorded reached 332 meters. At that depth, it's like having 200 cars pressing down on your body all at once. And yet, that's barely scratching the surface. We're only 3% into our descent. Still, this gloomy region isn't empty, far from it. Surprisingly, many marine animals spend half their lives right here. During the daylight hours, these creatures hide in the safety of the dark open water away from predators. Then, when night falls, they ascend to shallower waters to hunt, taking advantage of the cover of darkness to safely reach food-rich zones near the surface. Here, in this in-between world where twilight gives way to total blackness, light becomes a rare and precious weapon. In fact, more than 90% of creatures native to these depths use bioluminescence, a chemical trick that lets them produce light from their own bodies. Some use this light as camouflage, blending in with the last hints of sunlight from above. Others use it to attract mates, distract predators, or dazzle and confuse their enemies. And of course, many use it to hunt, turning the darkness into a trap. But light isn't their only survival strategy. In the darkness, teamwork can be just as important. Around 700 meters deep, we come across a colony of strange and fascinating creatures called phonophores, living proof that even here, life finds a way to collaborate. Some of the creatures here look like something straight out of science fiction. Phonophores, for example, can stretch up to 50 meters long. That's half a football field, yet they're no wider than a broomstick. Why? To lure prey. These strange, ghostly colonies create haunting displays of bright blue or deep red light shimmering through the dark like underwater fireworks. But behind that beauty hides danger. They extend massive curtains of tentacles packed with venomous stingers that instantly paralyze or kill anything that dares to get too close. But not every creature down here can hunt so aggressively. Most have to rely on something much less glamorous, a constant shower of decaying matter called marine snow. It's exactly what it sounds like, a never-ending fall of white, dusty particles drifting down from the surface. It's made of dead plankton, fish scales, feces, sand, and other debris. It might not sound appetizing, but without this slow, dirty snowfall, almost everything in the deep sea would starve. And yet, even in this nutrient-starved zone, epic battles still happen. Here, some of nature's most dramatic showdowns unfold, like when a sperm whale, the size of a bus, dives down to hunt a giant squid as large as a house. The squid fights back with everything it has, its tentacles, hooks, and strength. It usually loses, but not without leaving battle scars, which can be found etched permanently into the whale's thick skin. As we pass 1,000 meters, deeper than the tallest man-made structure ever built, we enter the midnight zone. This is a place of total, endless darkness, a cold, crushing void of black water that is still mostly unexplored. Down here, it's harder for a human to swim than it is to walk in outer space. Finding food is a monumental challenge, so the creatures here had to evolve in brilliant ways, trading speed and strength for patience and efficiency. One such survivor is the vampire squid, a 30-centimeter long marvel that floats silently through the water with barely a movement. It spreads out its long, sticky arms and lets the ocean bring food to it, brushing tiny particles from the water using fine, bristle-like hairs. Compared to chasing prey, this saves a huge amount of energy. Carnivorous fish, however, don't have that luxury. Prey is rare here, so when a predator attacks, it has one shot. Miss, and it starves. That's why many deep-sea hunters have terrifying weaponry. The viperfish uses its oversized, needle-like fangs to impale and trap large prey, swallowing them whole. Then there's the frilled shark, armed with over 300 backward-curving teeth, designed to hook anything that enters its mouth and make sure it doesn't come back out. Now we sink past 3,800 meters, the same depth as the Titanic's watery grave. We've reached the abyssal depths. Down here, life feels like it's happening in slow motion. Every movement is measured, every heartbeat is calculated. Energy is everything. Most creatures hover completely still. The only time they move quickly is when danger suddenly arrives. You might see the Dumbo octopus paddling gracefully with its ear-like fins, or the grenadier fish gliding with slow serpentine tail movements. At last, around 4,000 meters down, we reach the ocean floor, the abyssal plain. It stretches endlessly in all directions, covered in cold, gray sediment. The rocks are dusted with marine snow, the same decaying material that's kept this entire ecosystem alive. Here, simple creatures like sea cucumbers, shrimp, worms, and sea urchins graze slowly, recycling what little life remains from above. In certain areas of the ocean floor, you might notice small, dark lumps scattered across the sediment. These are manganese nodules, hard mineral deposits that slowly grow over millions of years. Though life here is scarce, these nodules provide crucial footholds for deep-sea corals and sponges to anchor themselves in this otherwise barren environment. But even in these desolate depths, there are oases, places bursting with unexpected life. Down in the rift valleys, where tectonic plates slowly pull apart, seawater seeps into the cracks and meets the magma below. The result? Scalding jets of mineral-rich water reaching temperatures of up to 400 degrees Celsius erupt from the seafloor, forming towering chimneys and spires called hydrothermal vents. In this hellish heat, extremophile bacteria thrive, using the minerals to create organic matter, kickstarting entirely unique ecosystems that don't depend on sunlight at all. As we continue downward, we reach the deepest part of the abyssal plain at around 6,000 meters. For most of the ocean, this is the bottom of the line. But if we want to find the true bottom of Earth's oceans, we're actually only halfway there. Welcome to the Hadal Zone, the ocean's underworld. This eerie realm consists of deep, narrow trenches that account for just 0.25% of the ocean floor. But what they lack in size, they make up for in extremity. These are some of the most hostile environments on the planet. And yet, life exists even here. We spot a ghostly creature, the ethereal snailfish, the deepest living fish ever recorded, a fragile, translucent animal living under unimaginable pressure. At 8,000 meters, jagged black rocks flash past as we descend further, deeper than any submarine battlefield, deeper than any light can penetrate. And finally, we reach the last slope, the descent into a trench within the larger Mariana Trench, a narrow, gently sloping valley called the Challenger Deep, about 1.6 kilometers wide and nearly 11,000 meters down. This is it, the deepest known point in Earth's oceans. Down here, the pressure reaches 1,086 bar, equivalent to having 1,800 elephants stacked on top of you. No human could survive an unprotected swim here, but even in this crushing blackness, life endures. Strange white and pale pink amphipods drift through the water alongside massive sea cucumbers. While their relatives in shallow waters are just a few centimeters long, these giants can grow up to 30 centimeters, a testament to how life adapts in unexpected ways. But not everything here is natural. Floating between these elegant creatures is a plastic bag. Found by scientists in 2018, it was a chilling reminder not even the most remote place on Earth is safe from human impact. There's nothing more to explore now. Our oxygen is running low. So we begin our long journey back to the surface. As we rise back to the surface, one question lingers. If life can thrive in the coldest, darkest, most hostile corners of the planet, what might you be capable of? The truth is, The greatest unexplored ocean isn't beneath us. It's inside your mind. And now you can unlock it. Introducing our exclusive digital program designed to activate your brain's full potential, helping you supercharge your focus, mental clarity, memory, and performance. Built on cutting-edge neuroscience, real strategies, and powerful mental exercises, this system is designed to help you think faster, stay sharper, and feel mentally unstoppable in just days. And right now, for a limited time, you can access the full program with a special offer available only to those who made it to the end of this journey. So if you're ready to dive into the deepest parts of your own mind, click the link now and start the transformation, because the greatest mysteries are still within you.